Let's talk about taxes, baby. Let's talk about you and taxes. No, you didn't like my song? Okay, I tried. Finances, taxes, it doesn't have to be stressful. It can absolutely be fun. And I want you to have a worry free, stress free, cool tax season for 2022. So I'm going to provide you with insight into how to accomplish that. First thing, did you know that as a self employed consultant, you are responsible for income taxes ranging from 10% to 40% of your net profit? Yes, that is true. Also, did you know that you are required to keep certain tax documents for a specific period of time? And there are certain ways you must handle your finances, and there are certain ways you must file your taxes as a self employed consultant. Yes, that is also true. Here's the thing, you must be aware of so many tax requirements and accounting matters as a self employed consultant that it can be downright confusing and stressful. Well, my whole goal is to make you smile whenever you log into your bank account and have a stress free, worry free, cool tax season. So in this episode, I'm going to answer questions that many of you placed in the comments, and I will identify how you as a self-employed consultant should keep track of your income and expenses, how you should pay and file your taxes, what you should do about quarterly taxes, and so many other things in this episode. This is an episode you don't want to miss, so buckle up and stay tuned. Welcome to Say Yes to Profits, a virtual CFO firm that helps consultants gain clarity, control, and confidence in their numbers so they reduce business taxes and build profitable million-dollar businesses. We exist to eradicate small business failure, so subscribe today, and as a result, we will make it rain money in your business. It is time for you to say yes to profits. Hi consultants, I am Octavia, CEO of Say Yes to Profits and the virtual CFO for consultants who desire to gain clarity, control, and confidence in their finances so that they reduce business taxes and say yes to profits. Here's what you must understand. Most consultants, matter of fact, I don't even have to tell you to understand it, and honestly, it's not just consultants. Most business owners absolutely dread tax season. Maybe except accountants. But do you? Maybe you do. Instead of dreading tax season, how about you position your consulting firm to have a worry-free, stress-free tax season? Sounds promising, right? To accomplish this, there are items and tasks you must implement as a consulting firm owner. And in this episode, I will answer some of the basic, frequently asked questions regarding self-employed taxes for consultants. Again, these questions were pulled from our different social media platforms for comments that were left there. So if you have any questions or any comments about taxes, profits, cash flow, financial management, definitely leave your questions and comments in our comments, and we will create a video or we will apply answering them. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. First question, how to determine if you are self-employed? Here's the thing, most consultants are self-employed. Now, according to the IRS, you are self-employed if you're a business owner or a contractor who provides services to other businesses. So for example, you are a self-employed consultant if you provide services to your clients and they pay the full amount without deducting taxes. So let me give you another example. Let's say you have a project or service that costs $2,500 and you bill your client $2,500 and they pay $2,500. In this case, you are responsible for your taxes, not your client. If this is you, keep listening or watching. Question number 2, how does self-employment taxes work? As a self-employed consultant, in most cases, you are required to pay both federal income taxes and self-employment taxes. The amount you will owe for income taxes will depend on your tax bracket and your yearly net profit amount. This amount could range between 10% and upwards of 40%. Okay? As a self-employed consultant, you must also pay 15.3% for self-employment taxes. Now, if you expect to owe more than $1,000 in federal taxes, you're also required to pay estimated quarterly taxes. And depending on where you're located, you may be required to pay taxes for your city, local, and state. So you want to check out your area and see what your responsibilities may be. Question number 3, how to determine your net profit. To determine your monthly and yearly net profit, you want to make sure your monthly income and expenses are organized in an accounting system. Each month, your bookkeeper or accountant should match your bank statements with your accounting system and prepare your income statement, also known as your profit and loss statement. This financial statement will identify your net profit for a particular period of time. You will use this information to determine your business's tax liability for that year. You will also factor this information along with your personal taxes if you are an LLC or a sole proprietor to determine your total tax liability. If you are an S Corp, your business is a pass-through entity and you will receive a K-1 based on your ownership or shareholders percentage, and that information will flow through to your personal and you will file your K-1 information with your personal taxes. Question number 4, for tax purposes, what documents should you keep? Now, along with having an accurate, reliable, and timely accounting system, you should also keep a document trail of your purchases and income for tax purposes as a self-employed consultant. For example, for all of your business expenses you plan to claim as deductions on your tax return, the IRS requires you to keep supportive documentations that show what you purchased, how much you paid, and when you purchased this. This is highly important. The IRS also requires business owners to keep receipts of all business expenses that are $75 or more. Now, note here, if your business is audited, you'll still need to be able to provide basic information about expenses under $75. Listen, I highly recommend using your accounting system or an online file system such as Dropbox, Google Drive, Share Files, Smart Vault. There are so many, but using an online system to organize digital copies of your receipts, because as I just mentioned, you're required to keep receipts and source documents $75 or more. But if you get audited, you gotta have this other stuff too. So just keep everything. That's what I tell my clients, okay? Now, with most accounting systems, you can actually scan and attach your source document or your receipts to the transaction in that accounting system. So everything is neat, clean, and in one place. In addition to that, physical receipts, they fade over time, and you don't want to get audited or have questions about a receipt and you go and look at it and you can't even tell what it is, right? So just take a few moments, scan everything, and keep it. Also, you need to keep proof of income received as a self-employed consultant. You want to keep copies of invoices, digital payments, cleared checks, 1099 forms, and anything else that shows proof of why you received this income in your business. Question number 5, how long should you keep your financial records? Now, the IRS requires you to keep all source documents, receipts, and things of that nature for a minimum of 3 years. However, Yes, here's another note. For special circumstances, you are required to keep records for a longer time. So, for example, if you underpay your taxes by 25% or more, the IRS can go back as far as 6 years. Yes, 6 years. But in most cases, you are not aware that you may have underpaid your taxes until you receive that dreaded, heart-wrenching letter from the IRS. Then you're like, oh my God, what do I do? How do I fight this? What's the next best step, right? If you keep all of your source documents and your receipts, maybe, possibly, you have a case that you can fight and get it lower if you owe anything, or just show proof of why you made certain purchases and received certain income. Therefore, a good rule of thumb, I highly recommend keeping receipts and source documents for at least 6 to 7 years after filing your taxes. Now, in closing, please understand that paying taxes is not a bad thing. I know you're like, oh, wait a minute, Octavia. What are you talking about? Yes, I said it. Paying taxes is not a bad thing. Listen, if you are earning more money and keeping more money in your business as a self-employed consultant, at some point, you will owe taxes. Now, there are ways to legally and ethically reduce your taxes to the smallest amount possible, but at least you want to prepare to pay taxes. And then if you don't have to, that's extra money in your business. But again, paying taxes is not a bad thing. That means that your business is growing, is thriving, and you have more money than you even know what to do with it. You're actually saying yes to profits. Now, again, the goal is to pay the smallest legal amount possible. And I must say, to accomplish this, you must have your accounting records in order and not wait to the last minute. You must keep track of everything, and you must manage your money proactively, manage your taxes proactively instead of reactively. Okay? Of course, if you need help or assistance with this, don't hesitate to schedule a session with us today by visiting sayyes2profits.com/session. sayyes2profits.com/SESSION. And to help you with getting your taxes together, I have a free tax deduction checklist. Click the link in the description to access the free tax deduction checklist today. This will help you get everything in order so you can start to have a stress-free, worry-free tax season. If you have additional questions about accounting, taxes, cash flow, or profits, definitely leave your questions and comments below. Also, make sure that you like this episode and subscribe no matter where you're listening or watching us from. This is Octavia Conner. Until next time, say yes to profits. Toodles! You have enjoyed another episode of the Say Yes to Profits podcast. Be sure to download the free resource from this episode and hit the subscribe and like buttons right now. Also, connect with us on other social media platforms and join the free Say Yes to Profits community. Thank you for joining us. Say Yes to Profits.